You know what really gets me fired up as a longtime Marvel reader? The sheer amount of wasted potential when it comes to villain redemption arcs. Sure, we've all seen Loki's journey from villain to anti-hero to genuine hero, and we've watched characters like Rogue transform from Brotherhood terrorist to X-Men leader. But there are so many forgotten villains in Marvel's vast roster who had all the pieces in place for incredible redemption stories, only to be reset, ignored, or completely mishandled by editorial decisions. Let's start with the most frustrating example, Karla Sofin, aka Moonstone. This woman had one of the most compelling redemption arcs in Marvel history during the classic Thunderbolts run, and Marvel just threw it away. Here's what makes me so passionate about this. Moonstone wasn't just some mindless villain. She was a brilliant psychiatrist who became empowered by a Kree gravity stone, and during her time with the Thunderbolts, she genuinely evolved. Under Hawkeye's leadership, she went from manipulative sociopath to someone who actually started judging herself by higher moral standards. The woman admitted she loved Hawkeye after he left, saying she needed to want change for herself rather than just trying to please him. But here's the kicker. When she rejoined the team under Norman Osborn, Marvel completely reset her character development. Gone was the complex, evolving anti-hero. Back was the one-dimensional manipulator who cared more about having sex with government agents than coordinating her team properly. It's like they took years of character growth and just erased it. Now here's a villain most casual fans have never heard of, but should have been a major player. William Cross, aka Crossfire. This guy was a former CIA agent who developed technology that could literally brainwash superheroes. Think about that for a second. He had mind control tech that worked on people with superpowers. Cross had everything you need for a compelling redemption story. He was a skilled operative who turned to crime, lost his eye and ear in an explosion, and replaced them with cybernetic implants. The man had a tragic backstory, formidable abilities, and a personal vendetta that drove his actions. But instead of exploring what could drive someone like that toward redemption, Marvel kept him as this street-level villain who occasionally teamed up with other mind manipulators. Imagine if they'd given Crossfire a storyline where his mind control technology backfired, showing him the pain he'd caused others. Or what if he'd been recruited by someone like Nick Fury for a Black Ops mission that opened his eyes to a greater purpose? The potential was right there. Okay, this one's going to be divisive, but hear me out. Victor Creed, aka Sabretooth. I know, the guy's a psychopathic murderer who's tortured Wolverine for decades. But Marvel actually tried to give him a redemption arc in the 90s, and it was more compelling than people remember. The Age of Apocalypse version showed us what Sabretooth could be, a hero who fought alongside the X-Men in that dark timeline. This wasn't just an alternate universe gimmick. It was proof that even someone as far gone as Creed could find a different path under the right circumstances. Here's what frustrated me about Marvel's handling of this. They kept flip-flopping on whether they wanted to redeem him or keep him as pure evil. One story arc would show him developing genuine bonds with other characters. The next would have him murdering innocent people just because. Pick a lane, Marvel. Either commit to the redemption or don't, but stop jerking readers around with half measures. Let's talk about Amora, the Enchantress. This woman has been one of Thor's primary antagonists since the early days, yet she's constantly overshadowed by Loki in both comics and adaptations. She's got incredible magical powers, centuries of experience, and, crucially, motivations that go beyond simple conquest or destruction. Amora's driven by love, jealousy, and a genuine desire for affection and recognition. Those are emotions we can all understand, even if we don't agree with her methods. She's had moments where she's worked alongside the heroes, showing that she's capable of growth and change. But instead of building on those moments, Marvel keeps resetting her back to evil sorceress who wants Thor. The potential for an Enchantress redemption arc is enormous. Imagine her realizing that her obsession with Thor was holding her back from finding genuine happiness. Picture her using her vast magical knowledge to help protect the Nine Realms, earning the respect she's always craved through heroic actions rather than manipulation. Here's why I'm so passionate about this topic. Redemption arcs aren't just about making villains into good guys. They're about showing that people can change, that our worst moments don't define us forever, and that even the most damaged individuals can find a path towards something better. Marvel has proven they can do this brilliantly when they commit to it. Characters like Emma Frost, Magneto, and even Doctor Doom have had compelling journeys from villainy toward heroism, or at least anti-heroism. But for every success story, there are dozens of forgotten villains whose potential was wasted. The tragedy is that these characters I've mentioned, Moonstone, Crossfire, Sabretooth, the Enchantress, they all had the foundation for incredible redemption stories. They had compelling backstories, relatable motivations, and moments that showed their capacity for growth. What they lacked was editorial commitment and consistent storytelling. The problem isn't that Marvel doesn't know how to write redemption arcs, it's that they're afraid to commit to them long term. They'll tease character growth, give us glimpses of what these villains could become, then reset everything back to the status quo because it's easier to write a familiar villain than to explore the complexities of a redeemed one. But that's exactly what makes comics special, the ability to show character growth over decades, to surprise readers with unexpected developments, and to prove that anyone can change if given the right circumstances and motivation. These forgotten villains deserved better. They deserved writers willing to take risks, editors willing to support long-term character development, and fans willing to embrace the possibility that even our favorite villains might find a different path. What do you think? Are there other Marvel villains you believe deserved redemption arcs that never materialized? Let me know in the comments. This is Geek Force. See you in the next one.